ahead and pick up some new pieces.
Man, take a seat. We have a few specials today.
My reply won't be...
If you hadn't had to deliver that—
It's no trouble. Lowen did most of the work.
So you see what's really going on here? All three—
Huh? Ski!
No. While I'm sure Varka knows full well that Diluc would never agree to rejoin the Knights, I believe the sentiments— there are people like Kaya and I. And then there are those who are true champions of just— not only that, but it happened to a Knight of Boreas. Yeah. So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas had nearly been—
Oh! Wasn't Jean telling us about this?
I happened to hear about it. Although the Knights of Boreas are meant to be intermediaries between humans and— of those who have, the best known are the first Knight of Boreas. But 500 years ago, there was one who earned the respect of Boreas even before gaining the title. He was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he was the perfect knight. Righteous, principled.
Yikes!
Well, apparently his original title was— but he lost countless comrades during the Abyssal Calamity 500. The endless bloodshed stained his— After that, he threw himself completely into battling monsters. Leaving Mondstadt— It's hard to say whether the loss— but had he known that the Knights of Favonius would always— So if you want my opinion, the reason why Varka keeps asking— After all these years, he's still as persistent as ever.
Huh. Turns out Anyway, there's still something about this whole If so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight— That's a great idea! What's going on here? Was Wolfendom always like this? Paimon has a bad feeling about this. The Wild Hunt? What are they doing here? Watch out!
Shine down!
Be not perturbed. Unscathed.
Silence!
Be sanctified.
Illusion shattered!
Oh, are you all right? Oh no, what now? You scared Paimon stiff! She thought you—
Stop right there! Answer me this. The 2 letters I gave you, who are they for?
2 letters? Wasn't it 3?
Okay. Well, Paimon's coolest naive expression doesn't appear to be an act.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Paimon passed a test?
You may dispense with your suspicions. The wolf pack has borne witness. A familiar scent. Come. I will await you at the usual grounds.
Well, if the boss of Wolvendom has vouched for you, I sure was. Fortunately, my experience— Something seems wrong with that old wolf.
Lupus Boreas, not injured. Why so weak? Am I not strong enough?
You are not to blame. They followed my trail from the distant north across the ley lines. We meet again, human Lupical.
So, are you...
As you know, I stand before you as an incomplete being. I am but one remnant of the god Andreas' soul. The source of this turmoil. I can sense it. It lies in the north. It is the part of me that remains.
Huh? Now Paimon's even more
For many gods, housing a part of their soul within an object is no difficult feat. But those who can perform such delicate partitions as this are rare, even among the gods. The Wolf King, Andreas, was particularly adept in this art. Otherwise, no remnants of his soul would have survived till the present day.
Huh? The bard's back?
Toadif Bard? What are you doing here?
Maybe the god of Animo guided me here. For it appears that someone is in need of a tale from the distant past. And our wolf friend doesn't seem too keen on recounting it himself. Who better than a bard to do the honors? Lord Boreas, do I have your blessing to share this story?
As you wish.
Lupus Boreas wandered the frozen tundra and stumbled into the Seelie Hall. Enchanted by their song, tender as the dawn starlight, and curious about the ways of humankind, the wolf bade farewell to his home and set off for the city to the south. As the high tower crumbled and the fierce winds fell silent, Lupus Boreas, who once had hunted with the storm winds himself, looked within and inquired, was the shelter he provided for humanity really any different from that given by the reclusive king in his tower? The wolf entrusted those under his protection to a new god and quietly returned to the frozen north. There, in a palace long since abandoned by its former master, the great wolf closed his eyes and slept. 500 bitter winters passed, then 500 equally frigid springs. He slumbered undisturbed until a night stumbled in from the cold, just as Lupus Boreas had once done at the Seelie Hall, and awoke him at long last. The night asked the wolf to join him on a journey south, to see once more the land that had all but faded from his memory. The gentle wolf, unwilling to refuse the human's earnest plea, split his soul into two halves and left his home once more. Seeing how the ice and snow had given way to verdant plains, hearing the laughter and song that now filled the once somber city, the aging Lupus Boreas turned to his friend, the god of Animo, and remarked, "So, this is the world the humans dreamed of." Though the night's journey was not yet over, the wolf chose to bid farewell to his companion here. He had written the end to his story. What knowledge he had been gifted well, that's how a bard would tell the tale.
There is no need for you to ask that.
So that's what happened. You returned to Mondstadt with that night.
You need not feel remorse on my account. If anyone should feel regret, it is the part of me who remained and not cry. That is surely why those vile aberrations were able to exploit his weakness. Sowing this.
But we followed Boreas' trail and not...
And there's more. I did.
Oh, the White Knight who became the Bloodstained Knight? The mightiest knight of Boreas? But wasn't he from 500 years ago?
I remember him as just a man. His lifespan should be... It was the ancient kingdom of Conria, has...
If you want to get to the bottom of this, I'm afraid you'll have to make another trip to Nodcry yourself. As luck would have it, if even Mondstadt has been affected by the fallout, Nodcry must be in real trouble by now.
Varka, is he in danger?
I believe too many passengers.
Alright, wish it could be me, but I accept that we should send our strongest warrior to fight. I'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt.
I stay in Mondstadt too.
Razor, give me your iron claw. Golden-haired traveler, give this token to the current knight of Boreas. It is a wolf spirit. It contains my power and thoughts. Though I have given him a piece before, this should bring him new strength.
The Dominator of Wolves once bestowed the power of his soul upon his pack, strengthening their hearts and sharpening their claws and fangs.
But human hearts and flesh cannot bear the soul of a wolf directly. It would be akin to forcefully merging a human and a wolf into one being. They would descend into chaos. To prevent the entanglement of souls, the most I can do is temporarily house my power and thoughts within claws and fangs wrought of steel. Although, truth be told, that night the Great Wolf King of the North remains strong for now.
I will protect Lupakal. The North?
Just give me the word whenever you're ready. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when the root of this turmoil lies with the remnant soul that Andreas, Dominator of Wolves and God of the North Wind. He once left Nodcry and braved the blizzards to confront the God of Storms and claim the right to rule. Yet even as the tower fell, he chose to abandon his claim. Instead, he returned to the north and slumbered for 1,000 years before finally journeying back under the name of Boreas. When the wolf spirit could no longer maintain his physical form, Boreas chose to... Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have... 500 years ago, Roland seemed destined to be... He believed firmly in his own ideals of chivalry, vowing to eliminate all injustice from the world. Neither his mentor, the wolf pup Rostam, nor the Grand Master, known as the Lion of Light, could persuade him. But what was the scent that reeks of blood that... Any questions before you set off? Better ask... All right. Over to you, Dvalin!
The Knight of Boreas awaits below. We must part ways here. Barbatos and I have other plans.
All right. Hey, wait. How are we getting down?
Hold the line! The enemy's on the brink of collapse!
Grandmaster!
Haha! Reinforcements! It's about time!
And I'm on too!
We're just about hanging in there. Most of their grunts are fight or flight.
As expected, but they have served their purpose. Farewell, heir to the knighthood of Boreas.
Guess they're retreating.
So that Wolf of the North look-alike, that was Andreas? But, forget that. We can save the details for later. He was the enemy boss, right? Are we just gonna let him get...
There's no point chasing after him. We've crossed blades already, and it ended in a stalemate. Right now, there's nothing we could do about him. True. We're still not certain of his true identity, but whether he's a god corrupted by the abyss or a legendary knight, killing him might be just about possible, especially now that you're here. The difficult part is, we can't kill him right now.
Huh? What do you mean? Is he immortal or something?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's got any special abilities of that caliber. Nor does he have the ridiculous level of power wielded by the Five Sinners. But, compared to Rerir, our current foe clearly has a better understanding of how to exploit Nodcry to his advantage, particularly when it comes to Andrias' remnant soul. Exactly. I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Durin are analyzing. We still have some big...
Probably gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already. Why don't we go chat with them?
Stand with me!
Hey, Honorary Knight. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. You want to wait for them here? That works too.
Short distance propulsion, switching to chat mode. Varco placed a sizable order with the Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop. Secondly, I am...
The Lightkeeper's rep will be...
You're quite right. However, Itlua and Nikita are both... And since I'm well acquainted with everyone else here, I was... Sometimes...
Good to She went to see Lauma and Columbina at the Frostmoon Scions.
That means the recent wild hunt attacks have nothing to do with...
They're keeping a close watch on it just in case. With so many moon experts on... Oh yeah! Lauma and Columbina asked, you know something?
Hey, Honorary Knight. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. That works too. Hey, Honorary Knight. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up. Great! And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under the Reikir of Solnari's control. Intel from the Frostmoon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets corroborates this. No disturbances have been detected in the space where Rerir resides. What we are facing here is a completely new foe.
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, The present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf. Andrius, god of the North Wind.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrius' spirit, namely Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some monstatter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present-day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or, when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one, fit for the present circumstances. That new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original organ. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Barir's overwhelming power, nor his ability to disguise himself as others. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Boreas to compensate for this lack of power.
The replica corrupted and took control of Andrius as he slumbered by the bank of Amsvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant beast that you all witnessed. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic, and indeed how it was able to do so, remains unclear.
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nodcry somehow during his wanderings through Tevat. But we can keep those questions on the back burner.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you mean when you said we can't kill him right now?
We can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. From intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences for us mortals. Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years. This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt.
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, they're also in that land. The passing—
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus Boreas— Come forth, Boreas!
This form has come to the end of its time. My soul will fall into silence. Do not grieve.
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas's final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. It's the reason Mondstadt remains unharmed by his god. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was.
Sounds like Andrea spent thousands.
Yes. And now our only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss and make that decision once more.
I see. I would say that planting...
Wait, we...
If only it were that simple. We need to find a way to make the thought within...
For now, Boreas needs all. However, if we can collect those fragments, we can use.
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random...
You don't need to worry about that. Most of them are already inside this sword. I've been
Huh? Wait, really?
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, not just the wild hunt in the Abyss.
Sounds like this plan was a...
As a matter of fact, still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north. Instead, we've had to make best guesses. Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. According to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt, his form was at its most unstable at the beginning of his journey. That means the fragments here should be the... But of course, we've been tied up...
Okay, so 3 more...
I managed to gather one fragment before rolling. As for the third fragment, we've identified... The final snag is that since our foe is a replica...
With our foe being from Mondstadt, it's our duty.
And since the wild hunt is involved.
The Clink Clink Crumb-Cake craft shop.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract.
Ah, great. Knew I could...
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield.
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher
Darn it!
I'll deal with the second wolf spirit fragment, which we already... Traveler? Could you join me in retrieving fragment 2? All right. Time is of the essence. Let's move out, people. Dismissed!
Didn't you say fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight? Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and kick your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, all right, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up! Can we please just focus on finding the wolf spirit fragment? Looking for? What do we do with it?
I once got Boreas to explain to me how he stores his soul inside objects. All I need to do is transfer it to my sword. Just like back at the camp, but this time, you'd best step back a bit, just in case.
So, you're saying you don't know how to love people, and you don't understand human love either.
Why do you laugh?
Sorry, I just think the fact you're ruminating on this is all the proof you need that you have love in your heart. I have a funny feeling that by the time this journey ends, you'll have found your own answer to the question of how to love.
No, you're wrong. There is no redemption at the end of this path. Even if I am stained black with blood, my conscience will remain as white as snow. If pledging allegiance to the Abyss is the only way to sever the injustice of fate, then I shall serve in its name.
Oh, sure enough, this place has been corrupted by Roland's will. Whew. I'm fine. I was prepared for this. We got here just in time. The fragment hasn't been fully corrupted yet. Assuming we can undo the damage, it should still be used. Purifying the abyssal corruption Could you try reversing the corruption? Not.
So, keep the Roland.
Firstly, to test whether it's possible. And secondly, to view Roland's. Let me think. How is it explained to me? Ah, yes. Actually, neither do I.
Sounds like something a certain tone-deaf bard would come up with when he can't think of anything meaningful to say. Wait, don't tell Paimon that's what actually happened.
I thought it might mean something to you. Never mind, Traveler. When you were in Natland, you went fishing for ancient names, correct? If I'm not mistaken, the Night Kingdom was like a river.
Okay, but back then, we had a boat and
This wolf spirit fragment is like.
Thoughts and emotions are like interwoven threads. They can create a net, or they can create a rope. Thought is the anchor for a being's existence.
Also, we barely know anything about Roland. How are we supposed to use thoughts to anchor him?
Well, maybe you could try this.
What is it? It looks old and tattered.
It's an unsent letter, written by the wolf pup Rostam, Knight of Boreas. After Rostam lost his life in the Abyssal Calamity, Roland left Mondstadt to wander to Vat. But trying to track Roland down was like chasing a shadow. He never did find him. And so this letter has been sitting at the Knights of Favonia's headquarters.
Quite the antique then.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to Mr.
What can I say? Some people like to wait till they've got up. But anyway, don't they say that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts? Can't hurt to give it a try, surely. Whoa, it actually worked?
You really are making this up as you go along!
So the assimilation of souls really can be reversed, just like he said.
If what you say is true, the monsters I've slain, the justice a great and ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, turning its inhabitant the code of chivalry. If Abyss be thy name, I pledge to you.
And that is where the blood-stained knight's tale came to an end. With that, he bade his humanity farewell. I dare say you must find it quite
That I... Dainsleif? No. Bore a striking while we gazed into the past, he was gazing right back at us. Could it be? So that's what happened. After leaving Mondstadt and wandering the land, Roland ventured underground and saw a revelation from the visionary. Once he had learned of Conria's fate, he saw the gods' judgment as the greatest injustice. So he surrendered himself to the Abyss, giving them his knowledge, his power, his everything. That's why the Abyss can replicate him.
Uh-oh. Does this mean we have to take on the Visionary this time?
I'm inclined to agree. If our enemy could see the future, both the Wild Hunt and Roland would be acting with far more lethal precision. But even without the Visionary's input, Roland still has an intel advantage we can't afford to underestimate. Every minion of the Wild Hunt serves as Roland's eyes and ears. We need to think one step ahead if we want to outmaneuver him. And on that note, I have a plan I want to discuss with you. Well, the fewer people who know, the less likely it is to get... that about covers it. Sorry to ask so much of you again. No plan is free of risks. At least this one actually gives us a shot at fully eliminating the danger posed by the... If I fail, Anselm and Albedo can take the reins. Not to mention we still have Jean and Mondstadt.
Oh, there has to be another way! Like a backup plan?
If only there were. But I don't think our enemy will give us enough time to find one.
Hey! Are you guys done here yet?
Ah, Yehoda! Yes, we've successfully retrieved the Wolf Spirit fragment here. Any progress with Fragment 3?
Nope. It's a total disaster! More Wild Hunt monsters than I've seen in my home.
Come on, we're out of time. You'll just have to trust me on this one. Fill me in. What's the situation?
We ran...
Good call. Locating the Wolf Spirit fragment?
Well, before we ran into trouble, the two teams are holed up here and here.
But the Wild Hunt is stopping them.
We can't spare...
The logistics company.
Hanefa!
Designated drop the logistics company.
Amazing.
Hey!
I regret to say the logistics company.
Both. Something's not right. The Wild Hunt's offensive doesn't... Don't get dragged into the enemy's rhythm. Logistics company.
Yes, sir. Reporting in, sir. We've identified viable sites for deploying explosives.
Good. Wait for my signal.
Logistics company, deploy!
monster! Honorary Knight! Goodness you're here! Be careful! There's no end to these monsters! However many we kill, more keep coming!
Just as I thought. Well, they're about to get a shock to the system. We'll wipe them out faster than they can replenish their numbers. We just have to hold on until the logistics company is ready. Is that the signal to say they're ready? It's showtime! Fall back!
Yes, sir!
Ready? Fire! The enemy has sustained heavy casualties. Use this time to catch your breath.
Yes, sir. We've narrowed down the search area for the final fragment to this zone here.
That's not exactly very narrow.
We split the search area between us.
Either way, I was about to go lend them a hand.
Absolutely.
We've run right through our supplies now that they've lost their numerical.
Ugh, looks like the same.
Reinforcements. Hey, you keep them busy while we work on getting rid of this god-awful...
Understood. Everyone got that? It's up to us to hold them.
Yes, sir!
Now's your chance.
Affirmative. Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's their source. It was hidden in the mist. If we destroy that, the Wild Hunt won't be able to summon any more reinforcements.
Knights of Favonius, charge!
Ooh, I'm glad.
Brave Knights, on behalf...
There's no need to be so formal.
Very well. We've narrowed down the search area for the final fragment to this zone here.
Yes! Now it feels like we're finally...
I'll say, we're sure to face fierce resistance from the Wild Hunt.
It would be our...
Much obliged. The hiding in the mist trick again. You all know the drill.
Yes, sir!
Maria sweeping in!
Lightkeepers, prepare to dispel the mist.
Thunder! Up the ante!
Rally to the Grandmaster! Charge!
This wild hunt does traveler.
Mr. Varka, leave this to...
Just like last time.
Don't underestimate us, Grandmaster. We can hold our...
Ha! That's the spirit. Stay on your toes and make the Knights of Favonius proud. Either we all march back to Mondstadt. The final fragment is right there. Don't let me down.
It seems you have collected.
Yeah, and with no corrupted fragments or ambushes along the way. I have to commend your chivalry, Sir Roland.
A true knight does not resort to underhanded tactics. If you need a...
Save your breath! If you want to fight, let's fight!
As you wish.
Is everyone all right?
My granny fights better than these rookies.
For a moment there,
Hey, stay put, you guys. Leave the rest to us.
forget us. We could...
You're the only one still standing.
We can't lose our Varka! Please...
You're holding back, Knight of Boreas. I can tell you do not wish to strike me down. This duel does no justice to the way of chivalry. I wield the power of a god, while you dare not swing your sword. Your plan.
You're on to...
Andreas's question, Boreas's answer. The false path may be wide. It's over. Your sword lies shattered. The wolf spirit and the thoughts you blindly placed your faith in have nowhere left to dwell. Join me and pledge your allegiance to the abyss, Knight.
For the next part, it's over to you, Outlander who can't... The sword is looks like I'm no longer in reality. There's no way back. And all that lies ahead is the wolf's maw. Huh. Guess the only way is through. A Favonius sword? Who left this here?
Lonely warrior. Take me to see him.
No matter the epoch, the world is awash with corruption and injustice. I have aided the oppressed and righted many wrongs. I have slain sinners and delinquents. I have slaughtered tyrants and demons. But however mighty one's blade, before the great injustice of fate, A mere mortal can but bow their head. There is only one way to save them.
Who are you really trying to convince?
Stormwind!
Huh? Is this the fairest shadow? It doesn't look like an imitation.
The title of Boreas must find an heir.
The scent that reeks of blood appears to be getting stronger. Looks like I can just jump right over these obstacles.
Try to keep up!
On me!
No matter the epoch, the world is awash with corruption and injustice. Even the most fearless hero cannot fight what fate has ordained. And even the holiest god cannot escape the shackles that bind them. Lupus Boreas, if you still harbor love for humanity, then you must surely know. There has only ever been one way to save them from injustice. Surrender to the abyss.
Malicious lies! Stormwind! Warrior sweeping in! Stormwind! Charge! Stormwind!
My old friend.
This is not where your path ends. You must continue on.
This wind feels less than welcoming. I'd better take shelter. Try to keep up! Keep up! I can't hide from it!
You must deliver it.
Your path cannot end here.
You draw near to the heart of the wolf.
Even if you had an army of 10,000 men, in the end, you must face this fight alone. Lonely warrior. Step forward.
Is this the heart of the wolf? Roland!
After countless bloody battles, trials, tribulations, and hardships, I, with my mortal flesh and blade, attained power to rival that of the gods. But you know better than I that a mortal's prime is fleeting. In 5 years, maybe 10, age will snatch your strength. The power you take such pride in will fade to naught, disappearing like dust in the wind. Your fame will be as fleeting as firewood beneath the starry sky, lit at dusk, dead by dawn, utterly insignificant.
Oh yeah? Be that as it may, the fires that burn down here blaze more brilliantly than the light of 1,000 stars.
They blaze for but a moment. 100 years from now, your earthly flame will be long snuffed out, and those you once illuminated will be left cowering in the cold and empty night.
Ha! No. They'll remember me in 100 years, just as I remember all of you from centuries ago. That's the thing about firewood. From the embers of a dying flame, a new fire arises, burning bigger and brighter than ever before.
Knight's duty is to save others, not demand things from them. How can one call themselves a knight while placing their hopes in generations to come?
Well, as long as I put an end to you here and now, I won't need to rely on anyone else. Now, show yourself, Roland!
Put an end to me? Your body and mind are already at the limit of what they can bear. It is only a matter of time before they yield and crumble. But if this is your final request, I shall do as you wish.
Huh. You're not quite how I imagined you.
Not once have I strayed from the righteous path. But when I look at you, I do not see a hero capable of slaying dragons. Just a lost soul who has wandered far too long. A shadow of the knight you once were.
I guess we have that much in common. Neither of us are at our peak.
The Rayhir of Solmari's forces have been defeated, and the Roland you see is but an imperfect image cast by the Abyss. I wield the power that Roland did at his peak, but my heart and mind remain frozen in that blood-stained moment. Therefore, I, in my current form, am flawed. A knight cannot bear their own stagnation. After redeeming you from injustice and guiding your surrender to the Abyss, I shall rectify myself and continue to follow the knightly path.
Huh. The world out there can bear no more of your torment. Your obsession, clearly, remains exactly as I had imagined. I suppose there's no chance to make you see the light.
No words can make a knight doubt his convictions, no matter how noble they may sound. Neither of us will sway the other, but you have long known this truth. Otherwise, why would you pin all your hopes on Boreas' single thought? But now the blade that once housed the wolf spirit has been shattered, and all you hold is a